So I wanted to get on here real quick and talk to you about the good and the beautiful high school, the good and the beautiful history for high schoolers. That's what I meant to say. If you're new here, I'm Chantel. I'm a mom to 5 homeschooling kids, a preschooler, a 2nd grader, a 7th grader, 9th grader, and an 11th grader. And I just like to share a few things here and there about our homeschooling journey. Today I'm going to be sharing about the good and the beautiful history for high school. And is it really enough? Well, you're about to find out. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. And if you enjoy the content, send me another like and comment so I can continue to make these videos. All right, so let's get right into it. You may have noticed, and I'll put it up here in the little space thingy, I have already done a video on the good and the beautiful high school and is it enough? That's a few years old now, and we are now in the middle of our 3rd year of using it. And so I just wanted to update it a little bit and whether or not I think this is enough for a kid to do for high school. First of all, the good and the beautiful history is a family curriculum. It is made for grades about K through 12th grade. I personally wouldn't start this until they're in 3rd grade at least. So I say 3rd through 12th personally. And depending on the year, it comes with a course book and a book of stories or a book of maps and images. And then it also has student explorers for each year. It goes grades 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and 6 through 7 through 9, and 10 through 12. So, and I'm going to give you a specific look at grades 10 through 12 today. If you've done the good and the beautiful history, you know that it's done about twice a week if you do their schedule. There's only 60 lessons in the history, and it comes with stories, and there's some activities in here, and then you do some map work, and then when you're done with the lesson, it'll tell you to go into the student notebook. So in the lesson itself, I will say now that I've had 2 high schoolers use it and we've been using it for 3 years, I feel like the kids, there are some activities that my kids feel like are too young for high schoolers. They don't love doing the coloring pages like, let's see if I can find one. Like there's these where they have to map it and color it, or there's pictures or different things like that. My kids have not enjoyed that as much. And yes, this is my high schooler's work. He didn't like doing that activity. So they haven't enjoyed some of those things. The one big difference I would say is some people say their kids don't like the audio stories with Kate and Jack. My kids have actually all really liked them. My high schoolers and my little kids, they all really like them. So I feel like that even though they're younger kids and I feel like they're pretty simplistic, my kids have still enjoyed them. So I still think that they're okay. These stories in here, in this book, The Good and the Beautiful History Stories, they have beautiful pictures. My boys haven't loved those stories quite as much as even the Kate and Jack audios. They feel like it is, that they're just a little dry. I feel like the content in them is good still, but they haven't enjoyed it quite as much. So, on to this. If you've done the good and the beautiful history, then you know that the notebooks, they don't necessarily have a project in there every day after every lesson. So, for the high schoolers, this is how it works. There's a section 1, which is very similar to the lower level grades, and there'll be pictures and maps and timeline activities for them to do. And then section 2, which is right here, gives them a list of projects that need to be done before the unit's done. They're not scheduled. The kids schedule them themselves. So, for example, in Unit 1 for Year 3, the project for your high schooler is to read either Exodus in the Bible, Joshua, 1 Samuel, Nehemiah, Ezekiel, or Daniel. That is one of their projects. For an honors project, if your student needs a little more extra work, they want you to memorize at least 2 verses from the Old Testament. So that is Unit 1. That is just for the grades 10 and 12. Okay, Unit 2, an example would be they want you to watch an ancient Africa video, and they give you the links to the videos in here. They want you to read articles. Besides the other things, there's articles in here just for the high schoolers on those topics that you're studying in that unit. Another thing that they will do in Unit 2 is they have a Native American reading challenge. They would like them to read a historical fiction, nonfiction, or biography book about Native Americans. And of course, The Good and the Beautiful has a list of books that go with The Good and the Beautiful History Year 3. So that's 3. And then there's an honors project where they want you to read these chapters in this book, and they give you a link because it's in the public domain, and they give you 3 chapters right here that they want you to read. So that's Unit 2. And I would say a unit takes us about 6 weeks. So there's 4 units in The Good and the Beautiful, and each one I would say takes us about 6 weeks to do, give or take a week or 2. So that's an example of Unit 2. Unit 3 is very similar to the other units, and Unit 4 just has a project reading challenge. So knowing all of that, do I think that it is still enough for a high school student? And I'm going to be perfectly honest here. It really, really depends on the student, and it depends on your philosophy as a homeschool mom. If you are the type of a homeschool mom who wants them to have quizzes, who wants them to take tests, who wants them to have a lot of written book work, then this probably isn't going to be the course for you and your student. However, if you are a parent who believes that history should be done through a lot of reading of books and more things like that, then I think The Good and the Beautiful History for high school is plenty. There's a lot of reading. Besides the 4 books that you read as a family, each unit has probably at least 1 book's equivalent's worth of reading for your high schooler to do. So that's 8 books. On top of that, I usually include for my students on my own another book for them to read personally. So they get at least 8 books read for The Good and the Beautiful History. And then there's projects, there's writing that they need to do, and things like that. There are no quizzes, there are no tests or anything like that. So if you really want that, then you either need to make it or go to a different program. So that's what I think. I think it is enough, but it really depends on your philosophy as a homeschool parent and what you're wanting your kids to get and what your kids want to. Because by the time they're in high school, a lot of this is really led to them. It's their own self-learning. My conclusion is, I really do think it's enough for high school. As long as they're reading the books and they can tell you what they're about or write a report on them if you really want that written work or you need to show to your state some records, you can always turn in a written book, have them write a book report about the book that they finished reading. So that is my opinion, and hopefully I didn't confuse you. If you found this helpful, let me know. Is there anything else that you would like to see? Then shoot me a message. Let me hear. Let me hear from you what you want to hear. And until next time.